In this video, I'd like to talk about one recent discovery that I made when using Git rebase. And I have to say that this small improvement can be mainly visible when working with others, more specifically in pull requests, when, for instance, you want to have a clear Git commit history such that the reviewer can easily navigate through the changes, and this can come helpful, especially when you bring a lot of changes in a pull request. I know that pull requests shouldn't be larger, but there are cases when this is inevitable. So at least for such situations, using Git rebase onto is very useful. But first, let's see what Git rebase does and how I'm using it in my day-to-day workflow. And in the end, we should see how Git rebase onto made things even more better. So here's a classic scenario when you have the main branch, then at some point you diverge, you create a new branch, a feature branch starting from main branch, then you add your commits that represent a feature or a fix or whatever, and then at some point some new commits have been added in the meanwhile into the main branch. So if you want to make a pull request now while using a rebase strategy instead of a merge strategy for your feature branch, this is what I'm using when I know that I'm the only person working on the feature branch. If I'm working with others, then I would resort to using the merge strategy, because I don't want commits to be created in a wrong way. Because as you know, when using rebase, Git will actually recreate the commits, so you don't want to lose information such as the author of the commit and stuff like that. Okay, so if I now want to push my changes to the main branch, then after performing a rebase, what should happen is that after a small rebase on main from feature A, I should have something like this, with this line here as well. We should not forget that. And then after making a pull request, I should see all of these 3 commits exposed in the pull request, and as a result the reviewer can see everything that's necessary and nothing more than that. So there is less to none confusion. Okay, but now let's take a look at a different scenario where things can get a bit more complicated depending on the complexity of the feature that we are working with. So here is the scenario that I'm talking about. I'm going to explain it step by step. So we have a similar scenario as to the previous one when we are working on a feature branch from that's starting from the main branch. But now let's say that feature A is a bit more complex and we should split it into multiple pull requests. And for that we have created feature B that has its base in feature A. And feature A has its base in main. And the scenario is quite simple. Now what would happen if, let's say we're at this point, we have started working on feature B, and in the meanwhile the feature A, which is the base for feature B, has in the meanwhile been merged into main with a squash merge, which will essentially create a single commit from all of these 3 commits. So 7 will be a single commit that is composed of all of these commits. But at some point now we want to merge feature B in main. Now things aren't as straightforward as simply creating a pull request, because you will also see these commits as well, because you want to push this tip of the branch, you want to merge that let's say that last commit into main. And when doing that, to my knowledge, Git will look to the most recent common base between feature B and main, And in this case, and the difference will be the commits that will be shown in the pull request. And in this case, to my knowledge, those commits will be this, because this is the common base between main and feature B, if we were to take a closer look. But anyway, we're going to try that right now and see how using the git rebase onto will solve this problem, showing that in the end only these three commits when wanting to merge into main. Okay, where I'm at right now is that I have created these two commits from main. I have created these three commits from feature A. I've also pushed those changes. Okay, now let's perform a squash merge from feature A to main. In the meanwhile, I should also create, I think, feature B, and I think I've already created that. So let's switch feature. Okay, let's go like this. Okay, I don't know what happened. Git switch feature B. The commits are 6. I should also create 8. Okay, I should first perform the squash merge and then I'll create 8 and 9. Okay, so let's see how it would be done. So we are into feature A and we want to merge that. The commits are 3, 4, and 5 as per the diagram. And now we are about to perform step 7 because step 6 has already been done here, as you can see here. Okay, now let's perform that squash merge. Okay, we are performing squash merge. Now we are at step 7. We have performed step 7. Now we should be able to also create 8 and 9. Okay, let's go and create a commit. And this should be 7, or no, should be 8. Okay, and let's lastly create the commit number 9. Okay, I'm still trying to get used to the new keyboard, so apologize for a lot of missing keystrokes. Okay, now I'm going to create the last commit, which should be 9. And now we are at this point. Now let's see what happens if I want to push those changes and I want to perform a pull request from feature B to main. Okay, let's push, git push. I think I'm going to set those features, those options as well. Origin and feature B. Okay, now let's see what happened. Okay, now if we want to create this pull request, we see that we can't automatically merge because we have a conflict. But what I want to focus on now is the commits that are exposed. As you can see, we have also the commits 3, 4, and 5, which are from feature A, which are essentially these ones here. And besides those, we also have the commits 6, 8, and 9, which belong to this feature B. So this is not basically a big problem, but it can bring some confusion for the reviewer. Ideally, at least in my opinion, you should also have the commit. You should only have the commits that concern the feature B. In this case, it would be 6, 8, and 9. So for that we're going to use the git rebase onto from this, but first we're going to perform fetch. We're going to fetch the latest from master or main origin master, and now we are about to do this very nice thing. We are going to change the base from, because at this point feature B has its based on feature A, and we don't want that anymore. We only want to have these 3 commits being placed on top of main. So now the base of feature B is feature A, and what we want is feature B to have its based on main, because in that way we will only have these commits being shown in the pull request. So let's perform that. I'm going to delete this for now. Okay, now it's better. Okay, and let's see what that command will look like. So we have a git rebase. Now we have to place the onto option, and then the structure is as follows. We have the new base, and then we have old base. If I can type, it would be great. Old base, and lastly, I think this last argument is optional, but in this case, when working with Git especially, it's better to be explicit than implicit. And the last argument is the branch that we want to perform the rebase for. In this case, it would be feature B, but I'm going to provide it anyways. So by following this structure or the syntax above, we are going to have the new base, which will be master. Then the old base is feature A, and the current branch that we want to perform rebase for is feature B. And after doing this, I think we should be able to push the latest commits that have been recreated. As you'll see, we won't be able to simply push because we're going to get an error, and the reason for that is that although the contents of the commits are the same, they are essentially different commits when we talk about their hash. So that's why we can safely use the force with list command. I don't know exactly what it does, but I know that it is a safer version of git push force, which will override the content of the upstream regardless of what you are going to push. As far as I know, force with list will have some safeguards, let's say that, so that it will look at the contents as well, or something like that. So the gist is that this command is safe now. And now if I push this and I hit refresh, I should only see the last 3 commits, but for some reason I don't see them. It's interesting. Okay, let's try again. Going to push this. I don't think it has. Okay, so it seems the commits have been gone, and for some reason I don't know why. That's unfortunate. I don't know exactly what I did. So this is the new branch. Okay, so here's the problem. I selected the wrong old base. But this is an opportunity to show one other cool thing about Git, which is reflog, which is essentially a backlog of the history that contains the actions you have performed in Git, and by actions I mean different actions like switching a branch, performing a rebase, performing a fetch, and stuff like that. So if we want to go back to this step, git checkout, git reset, set hard. For some reason in Tmax it doesn't work to copy the text by using the mouse. So for that I'm going to have to memorize the hash a bit. So it would be 8a 5a set hard 8a 5a. Now the feature B has its commits. Main should be up to date. I'm going to fetch the master again, git fetch origin master, and this time I'm going to use this syntax properly. So let's say git rebase onto master, all base is feature A, not feature B, and the branch we want to perform the rebase for is feature B. We have conflict, which is not that terrible. We have this very nice tool. I'm going to keep them all. Okay, and then git rebase continue, and we've also seen how to solve git conflicts in NeoVim as a bonus, I guess. And now we're going to push with force with bliss. And now if we finally perform a pull request, or if we create a pull request, we should see only the commits that actually concern feature B. And all of this is because, once again, we want to ease the process of reviewing. In my opinion, this is a great way to ensure that not a lot of confusion is brought in the pull request. And yeah, I think this is what I want to show you, the beauty of this git rebase onto command. Yeah, I think this would be it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.